Hello everyone, I'm Jatin Verma. Hope you guys are doing fine. So guys, here are 10 multiple choice questions from daily current affairs. When I say current affairs, these questions have been framed from daily PIB and daily The Hindu, Indian Express, and referring to other newspapers as well. So these questions are going to be a mix of economy, polity, your environment and ecology also. Now, before proceeding ahead, I would like to tell you about myself. I am Jatin Verma. I am an educator on Unacademy. In order to get access to the daily news analysis of the Hindu newspaper, you can follow me on Unacademy by searching for my name Jatin Verma on unacademy.com, or you can also download the Unacademy app from the Google Play Store. Now coming to this, you can subscribe to the Telegram channel. There you will get the PDF for these questions and many more important things like daily PIB summary is uploaded on this Telegram channel, IAS Tayari with Jatin Verma, and also daily AIR FM news analysis or spotlight. 9:15 से 9:30 पे that spotlight program of AIR FM 106.4 summary of that is uploaded daily on this channel, and you can also download the daily Hindu PDF, Hindu newspaper PDF from this channel, IAS Tayari with Jatin Verma. Now coming to this thing, Facebook group is there, IAS Tayari with Jatin Verma. Today evening at 5 p.m. I am going to take a live session on that channel. That live session will be on the most important 25 current affairs from Indian economy from the months January to August 2018. And we will also be talking about 10 most important announcements of budget 2018-19 and the action taken by government on those announcements. 86% fiscal deficit target thing we'll be talking about. And in case you have any other query with regard to your preparation, you can mail me at studiousjatin@gmail.com. You can shoot me an email so that whatever appropriate could be done from my side, I would definitely be doing that. Now coming to the first question. Consider the following statements about Brent crude. In the light of Iran-US thing that is going on, this is the question here. Brent crude is a type of sweet light crude oil that serves as a major benchmark for purchase of oil worldwide. While this, you need not taste the petrol crude oil for this purpose. This is a general knowledge question. Brent crude has high sulfur content, right? So this answer for this question is, now answer is one only, right? It has a low sulfur content, right? Brent crude is known for low sulfur content, which is good also for when seen from the point of view of pollution causing carcinogen and other elements. Now here the grade is described as light because it is relatively low density and sweet because of its low sulfur content only. Now the other well-known classifications also called as references or benchmarks are OPEC reference benchmark, Dubai crude, Oman crude, Urals oil and West Texas Intermediate. So West Texas Intermediate, UPSC has already asked this question in the year 2011, I think, in the prelims exam again. Now Brent crude is extracted whenever this controversy happens between US and Iran regarding sanctions and all. This question makes an appearance in one form or the other. So be thorough with this. Now Brent crude oil market is also known as Brent blend, London Brent, and then Brent Petroleum. So just do a bit more of research on this through Wikipedia and other websites. Consider the following statements about Serious Fraud Investigation Office. Number one, it is under the jurisdiction of Ministry of Corporate Affairs. It has powers to arrest people for violation of the company law. It can take up cases in public interest. Which of the following statements, which of the above statements are correct here? So you've got enough time to frame your answer here. Now answer is all of the above, right? All of the above options are correct. So it can take up cases in public interest also. Ministry of Corporate Affairs can assign them the cases in public interest also, right? So this is there. Now coming to this, this SFIO is a fraud investigating agency set up to investigate serious corporate frauds. The mandate of SFIO is limited to investigating frauds relating to companies, relating to a company under the Companies Act 2013. SFIO derives its powers from Companies Act 2013. Rest of the information you can read yourself. It cannot take up cases suo motu, but it can take up cases in the public interest. So third question, consider the following statements about Aero India. Aero India is world's largest air show. Number one, it is the largest air show in the world. Now it is organized by Department of Defense Production. It is held in held at the Avadi Air Force Station in Bengaluru. Which of these statements are correct? So the answer here is D, none of the above, right? So none of the above. It is the largest air show in the Asia, not the world. So just remember this thing. Rest of the statements, you can read the information over here. Sometimes the questions, most of the questions would be from economy, sometimes they would be from polity, right? So this is there. Now, recently government announced a buyback of shares by some public sector undertakings. In this slide, consider the following statements about buyback of shares. Buyback of shares, it refers to repurchase of shares by a company from defaulting employees and shareholders. Second statement reads, it helps in ownership consolidation and boosting key financial ratios. Boosting key financial ratios like debt to equity ratio or something like that. It is the opposite of disinvestment when done by a public company. When done by a public company, it is the opposite of disinvestment or not. So, which of the statements are correct here? Answer here is both 2 and 3 are correct, right? Statement 1 is wrong here. Let's see why. This is the explanation. Stock buyback refers to the repurchasing of stock by the company that issued them. Buyback occurs, buyback of shares means company is purchasing back its own shares. Okay, so whatever doubt you face with regard to these issues, you can highlight in the comment section. Like you are having some doubt in stock buyback or something, I will try to address your doubt through the medium of daily news analysis on Unacademy. Or if the issue deserves more attention, then we'll be recording a separate video on this YouTube channel itself, right? So now buyback occurs when the issuing company pays the shareholders the market value per share and reabsorbs the portion of its ownership. Suppose if I have sold the first floor or second floor of my house, I am purchasing it back. That way, me, the director of the company or the house, owner of the house, I am strengthening my control over the house, or for that matter, for the sake of this question, in the context of this question, the control over the company is getting consolidated. In the light of Rajiv Gandhi acquittal case, consider the following statements about pardoning power. So every question will carry a statement which will tell you the trigger factor behind the question in the current affairs. So recently government announced the buyback. So here you can see Aero India, right? So likewise all the questions will be having the trigger factor behind them. So here in the light of this acquittal case, consider the following statements. The pardoning power of the governor extends to death sentences. The governor can grant remission or pardon for a life sentence. Which of the above statements are correct? Select the correct answer here. The answer here is 2 only. Governor does not have the power to pardon the death sentence. Once the death sentence is pardoned, then the ball goes into the court of the governor. If the president has pardoned the death sentence, then governor can decide the matter. Governor can completely absolve the criminals of the life sentence or any other thing. But if the case is investigated by any central authority like CBI or NIA created under the Central Act, Delhi Special Police Establishment Act, right? So DSP or NIA created under NIA Act 2008, then only central government can pardon the death sentence, or governor needs the permission, the state government of Tamil Nadu or for that matter any other state, while before pardoning such convicts, they need the permission of the president. That means essentially Union Home Ministry. The president can grant pardon in all cases where the sentence given is sentence of death, but pardoning power of the governor does not extend to death sentence cases. Now coming to 6th question, consider the following statements about current account deficit. Current account deficit has been in news recently, so that is why this question. Current account deficit is a measurement of country's trade, imports and exports. With increase, second statement, with increase in imports of fuel and gold and decrease in exports value, okay, not the quantity but the value of the exports, the current account deficit is set to increase. If the imports they increase and exports they decrease, then yes, current account deficit will increase. Deficit means ghata, right? Now current account does not affect fiscal deficit of the government. This statement wants you to be clear about the relation between fiscal deficit and the current account deficit. Which of the above statements are correct? Select the correct answer from the options given below. Now coming to this, Current account deficit is a measurement of country's trade where the value of goods and services it imports exceeds the value of goods and services it exports. So this is the basic definition. Current account deficit is the international account of a country for a given year. Unlike capital account, it only contains the regular transactions like money paid for the import of crude oil or import of gold or fertilizer or any other electronic item, etc., etc. Current account includes net foreign income such as interest and dividends and transfers remittances made by Indian citizens. The current account represents a country's foreign transactions, and like the capital account, it is a component of country's overall balance of payment, right? So current account and capital account are two constituents of balance of payment. If current account is in the negative deficit but capital account is in the surplus, then balance of payments would be balanced. Right, we are getting as much currency, foreign currency, as our rupee is going out of our country. It can place restrictions on imports such as tariffs or quotas, or it can emphasize policies that promote exports such as import substitution, industrialization, or the policies that improve domestic companies' global competitiveness. With the deregulation of oil prices, CAD does not affect fiscal deficit much. Then consider the following statements. Seventh question, consider the following statements about restructured National Bamboo Mission. Statements, these are the objectives of the restructured National Bamboo Mission. Whether the objective is to increase the area under bamboo plantation in private lands or not. In private lands. To increase the farmers' income, to rejuvenate the bamboo industry in India, whether this is the objective or not. Fourth one, to promote skill development for the development of bamboo sector. So these are catchy statements here: private land, farmers' income, whether it is the objective or not, and then to promote skill development of the for the development of bamboo sector. These are questionable things, but the answer here is D, all of the above, right? So be thorough with these things. Yes, skill development is one of the objectives of this mission. And guys, please, it's a small request in order to keep, for me to keep my motivation level high. So please post your score in the comment section. और ये questions अब daily basis पे आएंगे हिंदी में, मतलब yes जज्बाती होके questions will be there on daily basis, right? Now, which of the following are the components of anti-Naxalite strategy Samadhan? Now, which of the following here? Actionable intelligence for the paramilitary forces, harnessing technology to counter Naxalism, key performance indicators for multi-pronged approach, key performance indicators. Select the correct answer from the options given. Now here समाधान strategy है क्या? What is the समाधान strategy actually? समाधान देखते हैं इसका. Now answer all of the above are the target, these contours of this anti-Naxalism strategy Samadhan. Just remember this thing for the purpose of essay also when it comes on Red Corridor or something. Red Corridor and anti-Naxal strategy. Samadhan, smart leadership, right? Smart leadership while the leaders of IPS officers manning the CRPF. Okay, so Mr. Kumar और जो पहले CRPF के चीफ रह चुके हैं. Now aggressive strategy, motivation and training to the defense personnel, actionable intelligence for the CRPF so that the number of casualties could be reduced, and intelligence need not be something like rudimentary exercise. Actionable intelligence has to be there. Dashboard based KPI, dashboard key performance indicators, whether we have sanitized a particular area and then how many telecom towers have been laid, wires have been laid. So road of development has to proceed alongside the defense strategy or alongside the military strategy to tackling the problem of Naxalism. Harnessing technology to the maximum. Usage of technology, GPS and all. Now India has got its own, this regional navigation system. Actionable plan for each theatre. No access to financing. So no access to financing is another strategy. And consider this thing in the light of urban Naxals also, right? Has it got anything to do with urban Naxals? No. So this strategy was propounded in 2017 May. But still it becomes important in the light of the phenomena urban Naxals. Now, ninth question. Recently, MOVE, India's first ever global mobility summit, was organized by Niti Aayog. In this slide, consider the following options about themes of Global Mobility Summit. Whether this is a theme or not. Comprehensive electrification, alternative energy. Third one, reinventing public transit. Reinventing. How are we going to do this? Right. Another question for mains. It becomes a question for mains as well. When the move, this first summit, this occurred on 7th and 8th of September. Move talks about reinventing public transit. Let's have a word on mains also. So how are we going to go about it? Reinventing public transit without redevelopment, is it possible? So question for you guys. Logistics and goods transport. Which of the things mentioned above are a part of the move, right? So this India's first global mobility summit. Which of the above? All of them, right? So Niti Aayog, in collaboration with various ministries and industry partners, is organizing Move Global Mobility Summit in New Delhi on 7th and 8th September. It helps drive the government's goal for vehicle electrification, renewable energy integration, and job growth, and also speed up India's transition to a clean energy economy. So the 6 themes for the summit will focus on asset utilization and services. Asset utilization and services, comprehensive electrification, right? Then alternative energy, reinventing public transit, logistics and goods transport, and data analytics and mobility. So you can find a handout for this thing on Facebook group and Telegram channel, IAS Tayari with Jatin Verma, a threadbare discussion of this thing, explanation as to what do we really mean by comprehensive electrification. Just reading and mugging up things is not going to help, right? Now coming to the last question, consider the following statements regarding foreign portfolio investments and which of them are correct. FPIs have been prohibited from investing in treasury bills. Treasury bills, 90-day bills, right? So these are the treasury bills normally popular in India, treasury bills. These are used by the government to finance the momentary gaps in the financing. Okay, when the GST is to be collected in next 90 days, but the government is in need of money now itself, then treasury bills will be floated by RBI on behalf of government. FPIs hold less than 10% in a company. They are allowed to invest in unlisted shares. Whether FPIs are allowed to invest in unlisted shares and government securities or not, this is the question for you. So select the correct answer from the options given above. So answer here is 1 and 2 are correct, right? So 1 and 3, they are not allowed to invest in unlisted shares. Now here are some more details about these things. FPIs can invest in privately placed bonds. Privately placed bonds means if some Tata or Reliance company is there, okay, so they can place the bonds, they can place their debentures directly to let's say a handful of companies, other companies or LIC or any other big companies, rather than approaching the retail investments. But FPIs can invest in privately placed bonds, but the condition is that if the privately placed bond, it is listed within 15 days. Listed means they are to be listed on the stock exchange. Their price is to be listed on the stock exchange. That is what it means. Short-term view is associated often with lower stake in the companies. FPIs, they generally participate through the stock market and get in and out of a particular stock at much faster frequency, thereby rendering the markets volatile. Volatility is detrimental to long-term investors. So that is why. And the other thing is why FPIs are being regulated increasingly by SEBI. We have been reading quite a lot about them in the recent past, last 1 or 2 weeks. Why is it that? The reason is that FPIs, they bring in India, they first take India's money out of India through, this Hawala networks and all. And this is called round tripping. And then they come back to India. This is because of the reason that long-term capital gains tax and these taxes are high in India. Suppose if Amitabh Bachchan takes his money to Panama Canal and reinvests the money back into India, because in Panama Canal he will have to pay only 5% rate of interest. So Amitabh Bachchan could be name of anyone, it is just an imaginary name, has got nothing to do with the celebrity out there. Now coming to this, you can subscribe to Telegram channel. I will be uploading that PDF regarding the move, okay, Global Mobility Summit. And then the Hindu PDF also you can download. Telegram channel is there, Facebook group IAS Tayari. And in case of any query regarding the any area of UPSC Civil Services exam, you can mail to me at studiousjatin@gmail.com. So thanks for watching, and this saga will continue on a daily basis. I will further make it more interesting and more knowledge thing. It will be made more and more knowledgeable. I'll be telling you the mains questions also alongside this thing. And to watch the daily news analysis, you can follow me on Unacademy. Thank you. Bye bye. Have a great day.